Hello everybody, in this video I have a journal with me to share with you as part of the 2024 Halloween Journal Challenge hosted by Kia over at Kia Creates and Inspiring Journals. Today is day 21 and the prompt is cats, rats and bats, which I couldn't resist choosing because I love all of those animals. All the links about the challenge and the playlist and all the info and all that kind of thing will be the first thing in the description box if you are interested in checking everything out, but let's get journaling. Now, I had absolutely no plan going into this. I never do. When I do make plans, they go horribly wrong. But I had been working on some Halloween-themed journals using some printables from Bontic Vintage Designs. And I came across this one, which is from the Halloween Frame Kit, which had cats and bats on, and I really loved the sort of vintagey, creepy aesthetic that they had. So I printed a couple off for myself to use in my journal, one on vellum and one just on normal paper. And I thought I would use those as the starting point to get me going on these pages. I chose these kind of dark background papers. They will be quite covered up for the most part, but having that dark background does help overall. And then I wanted to come up with some slightly more creative ways of sticking these in my journal rather than just, flapping them down. I wanted to make some sort of tip-in, fold-out things going on. With this one, I decided it would be, I thought I would split the page a little bit. Cut it down so you can see some of that really pretty background, and also you may be able to notice the edges are a bit rough. Clearly I need a new blade for my trimmer, but I don't think I have a spare one, so I'm gonna have to order one. Oh, great. So I did trim that down a little bit, and then it was as I was doing that I thought maybe we can turn this into sort of like a half-page tip-in sort of situation. I was playing around and I eventually got the kind of thing that I wanted to do. And then with the vellum, I decided to do the same sort of thing, but without the cut out part. But then obviously with vellum, it's slightly transparent and I wanted something underneath it, something going on. So I grabbed some of my own stickers, my own Halloween stickers from my shop. They're actually ones that I printed out. I often do a couple of test runs just to make sure everything's printing and cutting okay. So these kind of rough looking ones that I use are just ones not available in the shop, just my sort of draft ones. And just do something behind on that lovely dark purple background. I started off adding a few of the bats here and there, and then I thought actually the tiny little graveyard scene I have would look really nice as well. So I've popped them all down, and I also decided to go round them with a white Stabilo all pencil. Well, that's a lie. I was going to go around them with a white gel pen, but all my white gel pens have decided they no longer wish to work, so we went for the all pencil instead. But I'm kind of glad it turned out that way, because you get this kind of spooky glow that happens when you use the pencil, so it all worked out in the end. I also used that white pencil to add some illegible journaling on that background as well, but it's quite faint so you can't really see it through the vellum, but I thought I would just at the very least explain what I'm doing. But once that was done, I stuck down the vellum using red line tape, and I only put it on the edges of the vellum part that was going to be stuck down, so you can't really see where the adhesive kind of shows through the vellum because that's where the pattern is, and obviously there's no adhesive where the background is, so that doesn't get ruined or messed up at all. I know I'm a little ahead of myself, but there's some prompt questions for the Halloween Journal Challenge that I want to answer, and I want to make sure there's enough time allowed for that as well. So once I'd done that part, I was then a little bit lost. Like, what do I do? What do I do? And then it occurred to me, I've got the bats and I've got the cats, but I have no rats, and I knew for a fact I didn't have any rat stickers or washi or ephemera or anything. So what do we do in that situation? We create our own. So I googled just like rat silhouette and chose one that I really liked and kind of drew my own version of it. I did a little practice run first on a piece of paper to make sure I actually could do it, and then did it again on the vellum. And I'm going to use a black Stabilo all pencil for this. It's like a strong black, but you also kind of get that sketchy effect, and I wanted that as well because I think it matched the whole vintagey look of the whole thing. But once I'd done that, I then got myself in the drawing mood. So I end up spending a lot of time. I think I draw one more rat, and then I keep just doing bats, and more bats. So let's answer a couple of the questions that were provided. So the first one, I'm not doing all of them, but the first one that spoke to me is one autumn or Halloween activity you've always wanted to try. Now, I don't think I'm ever going to get a chance to try it because I'm getting a little bit old now, but I never went trick-or-treating as a kid. Growing up in the 90s in the UK, Halloween wasn't a massive thing. Like on busy housing estates you might get trick-or-treating, but I lived in a quieter area and it just didn't happen, and also my family were like not into it at all. So I never went, and now I'm too old to go and it would be kind of creepy. So yeah, I never got to do that. So I would like to, I don't know, just be a child for a day and have a go at doing that. One thing that I have tried and would like to try again is more autumn themed. Is I flippin' love pumpkin pie, proper American pumpkin pie. It is so good, and I've only had it like 3 times in my life. I had it in the States once, and then I had an American roommate at university who made it, and then I can't think when the other time was, but delicious. So good. So yes, even though I have actually tried that, I just want to do it again because I love it. Yum. What's next? Most memorable Halloween costume? Again, because of not growing up in the Halloween culture, I never did it as a kid. I only really started as a teenager. So all I can think of is like the handful between the ages of like 18 and 25 when I was actually sociable and did things. I am, if I do say so myself, fairly good at face paints, so I have a few years where I have some really cool looks that I did. I think my favourite was when I was a very, very creepy Cheshire Cat. That was one of my favourites. Somewhere in the deep dark depths of this YouTube channel is a scrapbook page featuring a picture of me as the creepy Cheshire Cat. So if you're really interested, I'm sure you can find it in one of the Halloween playlists, but it's kind of old now. It's an old video. Then there's also some this or that questions, so just going through those. There's autumn reading or autumn baking. What does the reading have to be about autumn, or can I just cozy up in a blanket and read anything? Because if so, that one. If it's just baking, I don't love baking. I like eating the results of baking, but I don't love doing it myself. Next is typewriter or quill and ink, and I'm definitely going to say quill and ink, though I do love typewriters. Like, I love them, and I love like the effect you get with them, but quill and ink wins by like just a little smidge. I was adding that lace, by the way, for no other reason than it's pretty and Halloweeny. Like, no other reason. That's the only reason it's there. And then I'm going to doodle on some more bats with a fine liner because I felt like there needed to be some more on that page on the left there, just to add more to the layers of it. Anyway, next one is trick-or-treating or attending a Halloween party. Can I say neither? I mean, I know I said I wish I could have gone trick-or-treating, but it's too late for that now. I would like to say stay at home, blanket, movie, book, pizza, ice cream. That's what I'd like. If you asked me 10 years ago, Halloween party. I loved a Halloween party. These days, home, hot water bottle, no socializing, cat to cuddle. You get the idea. Okay, a little break from the questions while I talk about what I'm doing. I then got in the drawing bats mood and decided it would look so cute if I gave this little cat some bat wings, and it looks like he's like dressing up for Halloween. I think it's adorable. And then I thought, let's give that rat that I drew some bat wings. And then it kind of worked out because he's looking up towards the bats on the other pages wearing bat wings. It's like a really cute, like he wishes he could fly and be a bat kind of thing. So then I kind of made that into a theme. I decided on the other side here, the bat wing I used was from those Tim Holtz acetate wings. And then on the other side of the vellum, it didn't look very nice, so I traced the shape of it with a quite a thick fine liner, like the size 8 Pigma Micron, and then lightly filled it in with the Stabilo All Pencil, and then it works both sides that way. But to add to my little dressed up Halloween cat, I thought he could have a little rat friend who will also have bat wings. And then I felt there wasn't enough cat action on these pages, especially for someone who particularly loves cats and even more particularly loves black cats. I needed another cat. I don't know why I didn't draw one, actually. I think I just saw these on my desk. I picked these up quite recently, these just like black cat silhouette stickers from the range, and I thought I'll just throw one of these on. Of course, gave that little one some wings as well. I probably should have just kept to doing one wing on one side. The other one looks a little bit hinky, but never mind. Oh, and then this little sticker I thought I would add on this vellum page because, I don't know, I was not completely happy with this page. I thought it needed something extra. So the way that the cat's kind of reaching kind of looks like he's playing with one of the bats, so I drew another little bat for him to play with. Oh, and the big sort of wishful rat needed an actual bat to look at, like the direction he was facing, there wasn't a bat in that space, so I drew another one. Yes, I keep saying I got carried away with the bats. Let's do some more questions. So next one is washi table stickers. I refuse to answer this. I plead the fifth, or whatever. I refuse, because nope, both. Shan't. Not doing it. Next, autumn sunsets or early morning mist. Now, I love the idea of the early morning mist, but I am not a morning person. I am the most unmorningy person there is, so we're going to have to go sunsets, because there's not very much chance of me. Actually, I had to go somewhere the other day and I was driving through the morning mist, which would have been very, very pretty had the car in front of me put their lights on in thick mist. Goodness sake, people are just, ugh. But anyway, we'll go with sunsets. I'm adding this little pumpkin, by the way. I found it in my Halloween box, and I am using the Stabilo All pencil to just kind of rough and dirty it up a little bit so it matches the whole pages. But I thought putting the little pumpkin there makes the little crew in their bat wings look like they're trick-or-treating, and I thought it would make it look kind of adorable. And then I'm adding this curious label, which again I'm roughing up a bit, because I thought it would match the rat quite well in his little pose. Okay, quickly, last of the this or that questions. Reading a ghost story by candlelight or telling spooky stories around a campfire. Now, confession, I've probably said this before in other Halloween videos, but I like creepy things. I like the aesthetic of creepy things, but I am a total wuss when it comes to scary movies and things like that. So ideally, I'm not going to do either of those things, because again, I'm one of those people who will just Wikipedia the plot of a scary film, and I don't think I've ever read any scary books ever. Telling ghost stories, I don't think I would mind as much, because there would be other people around to protect me, but I would like to replace the campfire with indoors and an open log fire, because campfire implies camping, and I really loathe camping. I hate it. So I'm mixing it up and not technically answering, so there you go. Anyway, what was I doing just there? I found this cute little poem about a rat wanting to be a bat, and I thought that is perfect for this. Very short little poem, so I've just written it there in a brown fine liner, and I'm also taking the thicker fine liner again just to go around that rat and bat. I think they needed to look a little bit more solid, and then I needed to fill in all that space on the other page as well, and I spent a very, very long time looking for an appropriate poem or short story or something. There is a Black Cat short story by Edgar Allan Poe, but let's just say what happens to the cat, I don't want to think about it, I don't want to talk about it, so I found another poem instead, and I have forgotten the name of it or the poets. That's really bad of me, but anyway, there it is. I didn't leave enough space for it, so some of the poems in the bottom left, some of it's in the top right. It's all out of order, but I'm not bothered by that kind of thing. I kind of like it when things are all sort of mishmash and higgledy-piggledy and all over the place. I also realised just here that where I had been leaning on one side of the paper to write, the outline of the rat had sort of printed on that side of the paper, and I actually quite like that. Like, it gives it a sort of ghostly effect, so I thought, you know what, I'm not going to do anything about it. We'll stick with it. So that was just a sort of Bob Ross happy little accident moment. A few of the Tim Holtz clipping stickers, and again sort of roughing them up with taking this Stabilo All pencil around it. And then, oh look, surprise of all surprises, I'm doodling some more bats. Has anyone kept count of how many I've done? Because it's quite a few. And then I had the other half of those Tim Holtz acetate wings, and I thought if I don't use it, it's just going to be lost on my desk forevermore. So let's just throw it on a random place on the page. If that cat had been facing the other way, I would have put it on like that cat's back, but it wasn't working out, so never mind. And taking the Stabilo All pencil in white to add a few little doodles and details and some faux stitching and things, and I think, yeah, that is it. There we go. It's actually some really, really simple pages, but because I've put effort into like drawing little characters and stuff, it feels like I've done a lot to it, and I really, really love the way it's turned out. So there we go. Thank you so much for watching. A big thank you to Kia and all the other collaborators, Kia especially obviously for creating this challenge and letting us take part. It's just, the prompts are so wonderful. I'm gutted. I've been so busy this month that I couldn't do more, but it's a genius prompt list. Please go check it out if you haven't already. What else do I have to say? I can't remember. The usual thing. Links down in the description box, of course, for the challenge and all of those things. Oh, and if you would like to answer any of those Halloween prompt questions or the this and that questions down in the comments, I would love to hear them. I genuinely would. So that is going to be it from me. Thank you so much again. I am now going. Goodbye!